what are your thoughts on sort of revising the Womack and Jones version of the 5 principles of lean?
For me, John, is the problem is with most companies, if you use the word respect for people or engaged people, there's a lack of trust. Because of that lack of trust, they don't believe what you're saying. Because if you've been a company that for years have been, 2 by 2, just make the numbers, make the thing. When you suddenly change, right, we're going to be lovely now, we're going to be nice people, and everybody's going to have a wonderful time. The problem is a tiger never changes its stripes. Yeah. So you have to understand is people won't believe at first, and it's getting over for me that hurdle that management are going to be more relaxed. The gemba walk, I mean, for me, and I think Eric said on one others, that was my normal daily business. The officers were in the middle of the shop floor. You didn't have a choice whether you want to go on the shop floor. The only way to get to your office was across the shop floor. Yep. And you should have the respect of the people that when you're walking to your office, you can say good morning to as many people as you know. And that's the respect. Morning, morning. Other managers, and we had managers like this that would walk with their heads down purposely so they didn't have to eye-to-eye contact. And that's the bit. I think you're right, John. Respect for people. Everybody says, well, that's the Toyota buzzword. No, it's engaging the workforce, no matter what it is engaging that workforce to be part of the change. The change won't happen without them. It's quite simple. It won't happen without them. But if you don't engage them, they'll just sit back and say, it failed, and they'll just smile because we told you so. You don't want to include us, And that's for me, John. You should. I always talk about people in any course I do because, as I've said, normally you will get that particularly in manufacturing, we know more so, is they'll tell you that the management are no good, the supervisors are no good, they don't talk to us, they don't listen to us, they don't take our
everywhere.
Ideas. You'll get that everywhere, but you've got to. What I try and do is bottle that up in the first hour and say, okay, let's part that. Forget you haven't got management now, you've got me. So you've got to get them to, and once you get them moving, they'll move. But if you can't get over that obstacle as a trainer, and you just say, well, I'm not willing to listen to any of that. If you do that, well, unfortunately, you're going to die from the beginning. So once you can get them on that, get the managers in. Any course I do, John, no matter what it is, whoever asks me, manager, to do that course, the first thing I say, you come and open the course. And they go, well, why are we doing the course? You need to tell the people. Because when you start a course, I don't know if you do it, Eric, but I go, Eric, when did you know you were coming on the course? And he goes,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I've just been told to come up here. So you can see that gives you an idea of communication. I did the one last week, and I think the guy with the least knowledge, he at least known for a week. So it wasn't bad. So I always ask the manager, the lady, whatever it may be, the supervisor, come and tell everybody why we're doing this course and what's the objectives and what do you expect to get from it. And if they can't do that, that's a big worry because they've got you in as a consultant. Hate that word, all right? Hate the word consultant. But as you come in and they go, corporates have said we've got to get 20 green belts. Woohoo! So should we just do the course, do the exams, and then everybody go home and corporates met? And I find that, and I've done it before. I've said I won't do it because it's not for me. Go and do it online. You may as well do it online. It's easier. But John, the trust thing. Yes, respect, but you can respect people, but you've got to have that trust. They've got to be able to trust you as their manager, as their supervisor, as their CEO, whatever it may be. Let's be honest. In many factories, shop floor offices, when the CEO comes in, everybody's, do your work, do your work, do your work. Nobody can relax, and that's not the way it should be. It's hard to do, very hard to do, but it'll work if you get there.
Very good.
Yeah, no, and I would have a lot to actually add to that, but and I'd even take it a step further. With a lot of the places that I go now, it's the management team that really is oblivious to what's going on. And that goes a lot higher than people realize. And I'm remembering one shop I had in the Northeast where the operators were actually keenly aware of what led to that business being acquired by my employer, essentially what caused the financial troubles. down to like the last detail.
Yeah.
And we're really essentially, the only ones that understood like how to move the business forward, because nobody from that prior team had done anything to document or, really even go out on the floor to learn about what was going on. So, the first 3 months of that, we're walking in and saying, oh, this piece of equipment is completely broken. We didn't know that. And my point being is like I would take it a step further where the management team they're really the ones that need to get out on the floor and see what's going on. And it's if you want this to work, it's not an option. And what I hear a lot in the States is the word accountability, and it's thrown around like the HR departments a lot, and specifically this one phrase, which is set expectations and hold people accountable. And I know I've mentioned this on this podcast before, but I like telling people, go home tonight and with your spouse, the same way you do here, supervise them when you do this. Go give them a list of things to do, tell them to do it without any instruction, and then you hold them accountable for it, within a certain amount of time. And then come in tomorrow and tell me exactly how it went. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. But it's even worse when you go into companies that aren't making money.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they haven't called us in to do lean training because they're making money. They've just been told by corporate they need to get some green belts, black belts. And it's even worse then because senior management, they say, we're all right, we're making money. But you can make a lot more money.
Yep.
You can make a lot more money.
Yep.
And they say, but we're okay. And that for me frustrating sometimes because you're trying to get them to make change.
Yep.
It'll make them more efficient, and they say, we don't need to do that. We're doing okay. And many of them companies get that complacent. Somebody from China comes in or Europe.
COVID.
And goes right past.
Yep.
And that's what happens, and then you end up closed.
Yep.
We had a plant, John, in Antwerp, Belgium. Okay, General Motors and Opel called it the jewel in the crown. We were all sent there. To spend a week on the line, see how they did. As you probably know, in car plants, they have the thing called the yard, where they're not supposed to have any repair cars, but they have thousands of them. And they used to take us to the yard and show it was empty. Look, we haven't got a car in repair. We are the best, blah, blah, blah. Our plant's shut, okay? We stayed open. Why? Because commercially it wasn't viable from where its location. So it didn't matter how good it was, but they closed it, So don't sit on your laurels. Don't get complacent.